If you need another reason not to like politics, politicians in general, or Senator Ted Cruz specifically, or you know anybody who lives in Texas, they should know about his secret fundraising documents. They just got exposed. Let's talk about it. Now, realistically, we know that it takes money to advertise, promote, and to pay for a political campaign. So I expect that a politician will want your vote and want funds to support that campaign. But when it comes to political fundraising, there are rules to the game. And it seems that Senator Ted Cruz of Texas may be trying to play dirty because, based on some documents that were exposed, his fundraising itinerary shows that he might be playing fast and dirty. So we're going to talk about it. If I'm Steffanie Rivers, and if you know anybody who lives in Texas and is represented by Ted Cruz in their district, although he's a senator, so he would be representing them like he's representing me at this time, then listen up and share this link with them. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. So now, last week, there was a congressional reporter. His name is Pablo Manriquez. Now, he was on Capitol Hill in an eatery area of the Senate office building, I think it was, when he found a folder that contained plans for upcoming meetings with Cruz and prospective campaign donors. Now, either Cruz left the folder accidentally or one of his staffers left the folder accidentally. But what's the big deal, you ask? Well, we're going to talk about it. You could be watching this on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, because I am broadcasting on several platforms, multicasting on several platforms, and I'm in a different location today. So never mind the background, just focus on me. Okay. So if you haven't, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that when I post new videos, you'll be the first to know. So as I was saying, this congressional reporter found this folder, and it was full of documents that had Ted Cruz's upcoming meetings with prospective donors. Now, so what's the big deal? Well, the first thing is it's illegal for Congress members to conduct campaign finance business on Capitol Hill. Capitol Hill is supposed to be where they conduct business for the people that they are there to represent, which would be me and the people of Texas. Okay, so that's one thing. Capitol Hill is for that business only. If you want to ask people to donate to your campaign, you're supposed to have a separate office for that off-site, off Capitol Hill. So I don't know if he does or not, but the fact that it just seems like unlikely, let's say, it seems unlikely that this folder would be found on Capitol Hill talking about doing business and asking people for donations, but it was not, the document was not put together. It was not created in Capitol Hill in his office. That seems unlikely that they would have an office somewhere off campus, off Capitol Hill, that they would do this document and then just happen to take it on Capitol Hill and accidentally leave it in the little cafeteria area. That's unlikely. It could happen. It's a lot of stuff that could happen, but it's unlikely. That's the first thing. So I'm not saying that he did anything illegal. I am saying that it is unlikely that the fundraising itinerary was prepared off Capitol Hill and just happened to be found on Capitol Hill. Okay. Secondly, it's not that Cruz is fundraising, because like I said, if you're running a campaign, I don't care if you're running for class president in high school, it takes money to do that. As a matter of fact, that reminds me, I was running for Miss Fulton, I think it was, when I was in high school, and my grandmother made me some homemade fat back. Is that how you call it? You know how you put the fat in the fry and you fry it and it becomes like, yeah, fat back. Funyuns is basically Funyuns but without the packaging. So people talked about me something bad when I brought those Funyuns in school, talking about buying so I could support my campaign. But you know what? I was sold out by the time it was time for me to go home. I'm trying to see, somebody is if you want to send me a message on this, I'm looking at the chat right now, but for some reason I'm unable. Let me see. Sorry, y'all. Somebody sent me something and I can't even get to it because it's behind this little button. Oh, this is crazy. It ain't one thing, it's another thing, ain't it? Anyway, I'm trying to get to your message. Okay, hold on. I think I did. Now I got to get that to go away. Oh, Lord. This is ridiculous. Ridiculousness. Anyway, y'all, sorry. I cannot see what you're trying to send me in the chat right now, but at some point I should be able to see it. So, okay, there we go. It says, hi, Steffanie. Glad to catch you on live stream. This is Mach 7. Okay, well, thank you, Mach 7. Cancun Cruise. Tasty fatback. I haven't heard that since leaving hometown. I know, right? Nobody eats fatback no more except when you buying it in the grocery store because they make you think that you have to buy it from them to get it done, but you really don't. But anyway, yeah. Thank you so much, Mach 7. So back to the story. So it's not that Cruz is fundraising. It's because he's trying to win. I understand he's trying to win his Senate seat again in November, and he's running against Colin Allred, who is a congressman in Texas, who's now trying to be a senator. So I get all of that. The issue of the leaked documents is who the prospective donors are that Cruz wants to donate to his campaign. Now, if you do an open record search for donations to Ted Cruz, now you'll get a general idea of who is donating to him, his biggest donors, how much money they donated, etc. But the documents that Manriquez, the congressional reporter, found and posted on social media, they give a more detailed picture. Like, why is Cruz getting donations from people and corporations outside of Texas? That's one thing. That says to me that you are for sale. You're taking all of this money from different people who are not your direct constituents or who don't have an impact on your direct constituency. That says something is up with it. Now, the first part of this document is 8 donors who had pledged $19,500 between all 8 of them, but they had not paid Cruz the money yet. They were scheduled to meet with him in a local restaurant in DC. Now, so what did Cruz promise them in exchange for that money? That's the question. The names of the 8 people were listed in the documents, but Manriquez, the Capitol Hill reporter, he had to redact them. He had to darken them out so they couldn't be read, because it's a rule on formerly Twitter, now X, that if you post stuff, you can't give personal information. Although people can call people out and call them crazy and all that stuff all day long, but something like this, they want you to darken it out. Anyway, so yeah, that was one thing. Now, there was another donor who he's supposed to be having a meeting with. His name is Ronald Lauder, and you can go see all this on Twitter. So I'm not saying anything, or the platform formerly known as Twitter. I'm not telling you anything you can't already go see, but I'm gonna show you later. But I'm just gonna go through it right fast. Ronald Lauder, who is a former U.S. ambassador to Austria and is a billionaire, he was scheduled to meet with Cruz this week, and So Cruz could ask him for $119,200, according to the documents. Another person, John Loeb Jr., he's a former ambassador to Denmark, and he's a business person. And Cruz was scheduled to ask him for $119,200. Now, why does $119,200 keep coming up? Because that's the cap on the amount of money that individuals can donate to a political campaign. The question is, why are these people donating to Cruz, and what is Cruz willing to do in exchange for the money? They don't live in Texas. They don't have nothing to do with Texas. And I have not, as far as what I could tell. So there's the question. There's another person, Marvin Shanken. He's a magazine publisher, and he lives in New York, based in New York. Now, Cruz was scheduled to, because the meetings were scheduled to happen this week. So whether or not he actually went to the meetings, or because we found out about the meetings, he canceled the meetings, we don't know. But Martin Shanken is a magazine publisher based in New York, and Cruz was scheduled to go to New York to meet with Shanken and ask him for to donate $34,600 to his campaign. Now, that also, I think, is the limit on the amount of money that a business can give to an individual. So that is another question. So I'm going to pull up the documents and show you this, but here is my question. Why are you flying all the way to New York to ask a New York businessman to give money to your Texas campaign? What are you doing in exchange for all these people and businesses who are giving money to your Texas campaign that don't have anything to do with Texas? That's the question. And that's why we need more oversight on campaign finances, because that's my vote that is allegedly for sale, that you are selling to do whatever they want you to do, but where you supposed to be working for me, because I live in Texas and I'm a registered Texas voter. Okay, so that's what I would want to know. Now, let's go ahead and look at the documents that Manriquez posted on the platform formerly known as Twitter. It's X now. I watched the interview of Manriquez on the Roland Martin show, and big ups to Roland Martin, because I think he was the first outlet to interview Manriquez about what he found. And you can see the documents yourself, but I wanted to point out one last thing. So let's go look at the documents. So Mach 7 is on 10 tonight, saying they want Cruz for GOP vote. Cruz isn't working for Texas. Apparently not. Apparently not. We really need to track that dark money. He is bought by billionaires. Exactly my point for even going through this, because it just happened the other day, I think Wednesday or Thursday, and it's just now getting out, so it probably will be more talked about on the mainstream media starting tomorrow. But I agree, he's bought and sold. And so let's look at, and I know everybody knows what Ted Cruz looked like, but in case you don't, there you go. There you go. So I wanted to point out one last thing at the bottom down here. Now, these are the documents, and I'm just scrolling through, and it's kind of like when your staff gives you like little cheat sheet knowing who you're meeting with and what they're about and how much money you should ask for, and what, so you can, when you talk to them, you kind of, if this was your staff, when you would talk to them, the donors, prospective donors, you could know a little bit about them. It kind of reminds me of when you go to the doctor's office and And then the doctor comes in and he's like, so how's your mom doing? Or did she ever get through that operation? Or how'd your daughter's ballet lesson go? And stuff like that. They really don't know. They really don't remember. It's just the fact that their staff gave them some little cliff notes about you so they can create that bedside manner. And that's what bedside manner is about, like building that rapport. So this guy right here, Lee Blavatnik, is founder and chairman of Access Industries. Let me see if you're able to see that. Yeah, you can see it a little bit. So it's a little he's one of those people who plays both ends to the middle. He gives money to everybody, lottie dottie and everybody. He's born in Ukraine and he has dual citizenship in Ukraine and, well, it says the UK and the United States. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit because this is his recent contribution list. He gave, of course, to Ted Cruz. That's in red. Oops, sorry. He gave to McCarthy Victory Fund 3 times. Well, 2019, he gave to him in 2020. He gave to him in 2021. And, you know, McCarthy on his way out, so I doubt he'll be giving any more money to McCarthy. He gave to John Cornyn. He's out of Texas. He gave to Take Back the House, $200,000. In fact, I did a tally. I think it was $1,019,000. Well, $1,019,000. Yeah, that I think this person has given since 2019. So over the past 5 years, he's given. So yeah, he is not giving $1 million to people for nothing. Okay, so that's the question. What is he buying? Or he just, if you have enough money, if you're a billionaire, what's you giving $1 million to a bunch of politicians? So when you need something, you can go ahead and say, hey, remember that time that I gave you that money? Well, I think that's what he's all about. So yeah, that leads me back to what does he want from Cruz in exchange for his donation? Now, if you know anybody who lives in Texas or you live in Texas and you didn't know this, or this is why you just cannot sit and ignore things or say, that's not a part of what I'm about, or I'm not into politics, because they're playing with your life and your voice. They're letting other people pay them off to do things that they should be doing for you because they're there to represent you and yours. So if you know anybody who lives in Texas or you live in Texas, call Ted Cruz's phone number, his office number. It's if you live in DC, the area code is 202, where you can also look up his office number yourself, but it's 202-224-5922. That's Ted Cruz's office number. Call him and ask about all of this campaign donations and why is he getting money from people who don't live in Texas and don't represent any of the Texas constituency. Again, the phone number is 202-224-5922. That's his Capitol Hill number. So that is what I got for you tonight. And let's see if I can get okay, he's saying they won't create. Okay, let me go down and see what else. Thank you for coming on in. So I thank you. We got Mamajian. I think that's how you say it. Hey, Mamajian. Thanks for coming on in and stopping through. So yeah, it's a lot. I know it's a lot to keep up with, but we gotta do what we can to stay abreast of the information and question people. So Cruz is running for, trying to keep his Senate seat. So somebody will be texting you about him or calling you or knocking on your door or stopping you at the grocery store or however they do it. And when they do, ask them this question: why is Ted Cruz getting money for donations to his campaign from people and organizations that have nothing to do with Texas? And let them explain that. Always be ready to have a question and get an answer from people who want something from you. You want something from me? Here's what I want to know from you. And that's what I got for you tonight. So to find out more about the things that I care about, you can go to the written version of my journal. That's at eurweb.com. Thank you